What is going on, everybody? Happy to be back. BobbyFi here. For those of you asking, I appreciate it. Did have some family health issues, things that were going on the East Coast. It's been kind of a crazy 10 days for me, but happy to be back here, and people are, knock on wood, doing well, much better, and I appreciate all the thoughts and concerns. So I wanted to go ahead and thank you guys for that. We're going to get back into some baseball tonight. I'm excited to close out the season strong. It's been a little bit of a rocky season for me. It hasn't been my best one. Can't quite put the right pieces together. Sort of last week was sort of emblematic of it when I had the night where I could have won everything with literally just a couple hits in the last, 5 innings and having all the players in those games. So that was a little frustrating, but we're back on it now. Reminder, you guys can check out all my plays at truedfs.com as well as Sheets of Sheets, which have been absolutely demolishing every sport from League of Legends and NASCAR to golf to baseball. And then my bets of the day, I've been doing really, really well. I also show my ownership percentages. You can join now for free for a month with football season coming up. Maybe not be a bad time to jump on in and get the free trial for the first month and see if you like it. If you do, stay. If you don't, you get not risking anything anyway. Anyway, let's get into tonight's slate. I'm going to do a quick slate breakdown. I'm not going to get into, doing my 5 and 5, and I will talk about my favorite plays, but we're going to get into it. Starting off with pitching, and I'll just say the pitchers that I'm using tonight on DraftKings, there's a lot of options. So I will have sprinkles in the large field tournaments of some of these guys who have rated really similarly in the middle tier. But my main pitchers are going to be Flaherty, Marquis, Burns. So then, some combination of Morton, Bumgarner, Eli Morgan, and Dylan Bundy are going to be the guys I'm sort of filtering in, but mainly it's Flaherty, Burns, and Marquis for me. Nothing groundbreaking there. I do like Morton as well, but he's, you're paying up for it a little bit. Also, Molly is another one you could sort of definitely consider. In the other tier, who you're going to sprinkle in 5 to 10% of it with some of these guys in good matchups. Fetty, tough matchup for McGill, but he's been really solid. I still believe in Luzardo's talent, so I don't mind taking a shot there on Luzardo or Mize, but it doesn't feel great, especially Mize's strikeouts are down and what Detroit's doing with their pitching. It's really hard to know at this point. So those are the guys I'm using. On FanDuel, it's pretty much going to just be Flaherty, Burns, and Marquis for me. I will sprinkle in some Heaney, but mostly I'm probably going to stick with those guys. The quality start feels good. The likely win feels good, and the strikeout upside, especially with Burns. And I do think Flaherty was a little better even he's shown so far, but he has looked pretty good in his first two starts. The strikeout swing to strike rate is a little down. I'm not worried about that. I think that'll pick back up. He's got a nice matchup with Detroit. So that's what I'm doing on FanDuel. On DraftKings, on FanDuel, on both sites for hitting. It's hard for me to get away from the Boston and the Angels as being my favorites, which is really weird because I don't know if I've said that about the Angels all year. Love especially Jared Walsh today, but obviously Ohtani, Upton, Stassi being the other ones I want to round out. I don't even mind a little bit of Iglesias because I do expect them to be able to put some runs on the board in Baltimore. On the flip side of Bundy, I do like Baltimore in that game, especially for value on DK, but there's value on FanDuel as well. You know me, I love to play catchers against their former pitchers and stuff like that. And Severino was coming up while Bundy was still there, so I don't mind taking a shot there. But I really do like, DJ Stewart, Santander on DraftKings. On FanDuel, Stewart is still super cheap. I think if you're instead of playing Santander on FanDuel, I'd rather go to Mullins, Mancini, and Mountcastle, who are all a little cheap as well. So those are my main stacks. I do like a little bit of Texas. A mini Texas stack on DraftKings makes a lot of sense to me, along with a mini or full stack of Cleveland in that same game. I sort of like the whole game for hitting, and that's something I'm definitely going to get some pieces of. I also think for your long shot, large field GPPs, I think the Dodgers, depending on who starts for the Padres, and then the Padres, depending on who starts for the Dodgers, are both going to be interesting. It's just we don't know who's starting yet. Super long shot, always worth taking a shot on. They've been absolutely garbage lately, but I wouldn't mind, I think at some point Toronto turns it around. I think Cease's a really good pitcher, but if he struggles with his control, they do have an extreme hitter's umpire. So I wouldn't mind seeing that as well. Those are the long shot ones, but the main ones for me, and I didn't mention Houston, but Houston would be the other one. But Boston, LA, Baltimore, Houston, and Cleveland being my favorites of the bunch. And I like the double third baseman with Ramirez and Devers on FanDuel if you can pay down elsewhere and get that going, because I really like both those guys. I usually like to play the outfielders in the utility, but today it feels like a good day for a third base spot, potentially even a shortstop spot. And I think you can use your catchers on FanDuel. I'm using a lot. Stassi, Ramos, Severino, assuming Ramos is in the lineup, those are guys I all like quite a bit that I don't mind using my first base spot up with. I think they're all in decent enough spots and they're really cheap, allow you to do that double pay up at third base and things like that. Some other favorite plays on the slate. I mean, for value, I mentioned Santander, Stewart, Garcia for Texas. Adolis Garcia, just way too good of a hitter to be 2,900 and has enough upside. He can even steal some bases for you. I love him. I like Pete Alonso. I mentioned Ramirez and Devers. Walker is another cheap bat for Arizona that I don't mind taking a shot on. A couple Pittsburgh bats, Brian Hayes, Brian Reynolds, I think are interesting. Pete Alonso, Jorge Soler as one-offs definitely stand out to me as well. Anyway, we're just doing a short one today. I will be going live Eastern at 6 Eastern with Rody, which is great. We'll get him to catch up on his trip back, and we've got a nice huge slate to get into. Well, now that I'm back home and really in it to no more traveling, no more anything. We're gonna try and make some money, and we're gonna try and finish the baseball season strong, and then get NFL going in the next week or so. So I'm excited. We'll be getting plays up and start talking some best ball and things like that very shortly. I do also want to mention, if you haven't looked at DFS Chan, even if you don't play LOL, this guy is a monster and he's just absolutely awesome. Between he and Sheets, they've really helped people out with the LOL. And I think that you guys could benefit from that as well. Reminder to please like and subscribe on the videos. And yeah, really good to be back, and good to be back in Discord. Anybody wants the Discord link, just let me know. I'll pop it in for you because we have a great Discord group and would love for you guys to come in and join. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. It's been like I said, a rough time. So I'm happy that things are hopefully, knock on wood, on the right track back. And let's make some money tonight, fellas. So good luck to everyone out there. And yeah, hopefully we see all the true DFS people top of the leaderboards tonight. Good luck, y'all.